Welcome back to the channel. It's cold out, the heat's going, we got work to do. Let's go. Do me a favor, please hit that like, subscribe button, share my channel. Give me some followers so I can make some money and get myself a lift. Oh, thank you. All right, so you saw our struggle. Whew. Probably should get a damn lift in here, but that's why I married this girl right here. Always backs what I'm doing. She fits a lot better on this axle. Probably could have just went with the regular four-wheel drive one. Now I got some space, but now I can play with some offsets. Bring the tires in, maybe get a little bit wider tire, some old school mags or something, but I actually still have to center up the body on the frame. She does fit well. I have a problem where it always gets caught here in this corner. But all in all, she's back at ride height.
Looking good.
Looking real good. So we're gonna start cleaning up real quick, start moving forward. So a little bit of persuasion with the old BFN right there, and this thing actually closes. A lot better than it did before. I think these are slightly bent, either that or it's just the structure of the door down here is so rusted. So I'm gonna have to, they do make replacement panels. I don't know if I'm gonna buy them. I really don't feel like cutting them out and welding them, but who knows? I might cut these out and make the bottom of the doors myself out of like some street signs or something. And then kind of probably clean this up and rework in here somehow. I mean, it's all, but I gave this a whack that way, and then I straightened these out a little bit. Same thing here. And just by bringing them over, I mean, the door before wouldn't even like get to like this point without hitting. So the doors definitely need to come this way. So I'm thinking if maybe I just need to give these a good wrap to get this thing to just close a little bit better. And I think that'll actually help out. We're close. I mean, it holds. I was gonna go crazy and do like door handles and locks, but I just really want to keep it true, like junkyard rat box, rat rod. Like I want to keep it my vision of rat rod with the flat front window and the real tall look, which is why I decided to go with a Model T versus a Model A. And I know everybody keeps saying, yeah, it needs a chop, it needs a chop. Probably does, but for right now, I like this thing just the way it looks. I mean, come on, look at that thing. Like, that is beautiful. Noticing the way I have the body this time, this is literally like right there. Last time I had the body pushed all the way forward to where the frame was hitting the inside of here. I don't know if we're gonna do that. In reality, I would like to run an HEI distributor, these generic ones that have the coil and everything in one shot versus the skinny one with the coil. I mean, those ones are time period correct. And if I have to run it to save some room, I will. I figure I'm gonna run like a bomber seat and or some like fishing seats, like from a boat. Something very small and simple. And I'm probably gonna have to put them somewhere around in this area. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna run for a gas tank and how much of a spot I have to run one. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to put it back here and run a filler neck, hopefully out the side here, but we'll get to that when we get there. But I'm thinking if I sit right here and I put a clutch pedal and stuff here, I'll be able to drive just fine. I mean, the gas pedal might be farther down, the clutch pedal might be here in the brakes. Still wasn't happy with it, but so I gave it a good old wrap again. As you can see, these hinges, probably every time you open them up, see how they're right here? They bend back. These are definitely, probably did it when I was trying to pry the door open. Probably bent them and probably tweaked this, but now stays closed on its own. I mean, it's a little rusty where it catches, but at the same time, it's a rat rod, so I'm good with it like that. We'll make a little patch down there out of some old license plate or something. Maybe we'll get some garage door latches, just a little latch, and send it. We're gonna work on that door next. Get every car guy's friends, little PB Blaster. This is not an advertisement, but if PB Blaster, you want to sponsor me, by all means, I'm all for it. Another cold one here. Got the heat going out here. I got us some door locks. Trav came over yesterday. I said to him too, we probably should have recorded this, but we got the doors to close a little bit more. They're sagging for sure. So what we did was we kind of put a jack underneath the door and just bent it back up, and they close better. Those are locks for a garage door. Essentially, they go in the tracks and they lock your door, but they'll work just fine. Good old Amazon special. Good enough. What's on today's agenda? It's 2 o'clock. Go see my friend Abby. She's gonna cut my hair at 4:30. That's on the agenda. All these grays are coming through. And also, I think we're gonna get some pipe cut or some tubing cut. We're gonna come up and over and box and connect the back of the frame here. The welding gas is getting a little low. Probably use the rest of that up today and go get that tank filled tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow as well. Get that side built and then put some cross braces in. I've been doing a ton of measuring and looking online to see if I can find a gas tank that's gonna fit in here. I wanna have at least, I don't know, minimum of 10-gallon tank. Minimum of 10 gallons. I'd like to shoot somewhere around 12 to 14 gallons just because I'd like to be able to drive this and not have to stop every 2 seconds and fill up. But it is what it is. Most of the ones I'm seeming to find are the circle ones that pretty much look like an air tank turned sideways. Relatively affordable, 120 to 160, 180 bucks depending on how big I get. So yeah, I gotta find some seats as well. Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So in 3 days time, there's a swap meet at the Eastern States Exposition, which is like an indoor swap meet. Last year I went with Grace and it was like more like a flea market, you know? You got the guys that have all the sandpaper and all the new cheap tools and stuff like that. There wasn't a lot of like old school parts there. Like guys selling like legit used stuff. I don't know if that's because it was indoors and the whole COVID thing. But hopefully we get lucky this year. I'm gonna try to find 2 bomber seats. Kirkley Racing bombers are fine. If not, Speedway has them, which I guess I can buck them together or learn how to buck them, but also Jag sells their brands like 180 bucks for aluminum bomber seats. So we'll figure that out. I gotta get a list together today of things to start ordering as far as steering and stuff like that. Funds are a little tight at the moment, but yeah, so let's So I grabbed 2 grills from a friend of mine. He gave me that one, which had an old radiator in it, and this Model A one. I put them both on. This one actually fits in between the frame rails. This one does not. I'm not sure if it's just because it's kind of bent and old, but I want to say that's like a 28 or 29. I like the way that one looks more. So we're going to go with this one. Just a shell for now. I'm going to get a radiator and then probably have to cut it a little bit to get it to mount on the frame how I like. I'm uncertain exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm also thinking about possibly dropping the leaf spring and putting it on the front portion of it here and having it sit that way. I don't know exactly how I'm going to run it yet, but I should probably get a radiator ordered up first to get it into place to see where exactly it's going to sit. But essentially, it's probably going to go a little bit lower, obviously, so it's a little bit closer to the cowl height. And I don't want to go too low because I don't want it to bottom out, but no lower than the front beam. But yeah, got a grill. I am boxing the frame up over where the axle goes and then reconnecting it to the bottom portion of the frame. This one I messed up on. I had to cut it and then add 1.5 inches to it. These aren't perfectly square. I'm not really worried about it being perfectly square because it really doesn't do anything other than kind of just hold that back portion of the body and give me something to weld to. This one, this quarter panel here is dented, bent in. So actually gonna have to get in there with a 2x4 and push it back. Not the best. That bottom one, this whole part's definitely tweaked. As far as the body goes, it's not mounted. If you remember earlier off, this is 1-inch box tubing, this is 1.5 inch box tubing, so there's a 1/2 inch underneath here of space. I did that essentially to get a little bit lower, but I'm also thinking now, if I weld some sort of angle iron or something to make some sort of mounts here to where I can bolt this down, do I run a 1/2 inch piece of rubber there just to make it so it like rides a little bit better? I mean, I'm probably putting aluminum bomber seats in this thing. So it's not like it's going to be a comfortable ride. It's going to ride like shit. But also, I'm going for rat rod. Do I just bolt the damn thing down solid? I'm not going to weld it, obviously, and make sure the body comes off. But I'm taking some angle iron tabs on here and here with a bolt. You know, like just come out here. I don't know. I am really happy about those door locks, though. They're almost too perfect. But I also found some tractor ones that I might be interested in trying versus those. They have like an inside and outside where I can actually access the car from the outside versus having to reach in the window. Because I kind of want to do like the red tinted windows in the back. But we'll see. It might just be a windshield only kind of car with no top on it. But we'll see. Just pulling into the swap meet at the Eastern States right now. It's an indoor swap meet. I couldn't get here yesterday on Saturday. So, I mean, it's 8:40 on a Sunday. Hopefully there's some good stuff left and people want to get rid of stuff on the last day, and hopefully people give me some good deals. Let's hope so. I won't film too much inside just because I don't want to look like a fucking weirdo, but we'll do a couple shots. So we're back home. Just got up from my nap. Got to work tonight. Have my morning coffee. I had to do a couple errands, some Home Depot runs. It's snowing out. I got some decent things from the swap meet because I'm sick of paying top dollar at the part store for these lug nuts. So at $1 a pop at the swap meet, we're good there. Got the guy's business card too. Then I got me some old license plates now. I got this one, which is a little beat up, but probably thinking to yourself, why are you buying these old rusty license plates? Well, these, like I said before when I channeled that, these are going to be the kicker for the floor. You open the door, you'll see those. Almost the perfect size. 2 of them should fit right across. I'm gonna have to trim them a little bit. And then once I run a floor on the top here, I don't know, like a 1/4 inch. Whatever I run, I'm probably gonna run plywood for the top, I think, for the in part here, just because I can remove it and get to the brakes and stuff. But yeah, I'm stoked about that, as well as they're like $10 each. And then I got a Hearst super shifter. I was talking, I couldn't find a Competition Pro, which is what my linkage kit's from, but talking to everybody, they're all the same. It's just the linkage kits are different per transmission. So, in theory, for $100, this shifter should work with that. I have all the bracketry that came with it that mounts to the Saginaw, and I think the shifter is going to be somewhere around here. So I can finally see where my linkage is going to go on the side. That's going to help me out as far as where my brakes are going to go. So I'm going to get this kind of mocked up and in place. And then I also grabbed 1 1/4, 1/8 angle arm. Angle iron. Can't talk, right? So essentially, I'm going to cut these probably in like 1-inch tabs, 1.5-inch tabs, something like that. And I'm going to use those as mounts for the body to the frame. So essentially just put the two together, weld the top, weld the bottom, drill a hole, put a bolt through. I decided that I'm just going to bolt this thing down solid. I'm not even going to put rubber between it. Why? Because it's going to ride like shit no matter what. So we ride in bomber seats or something that's barely any padding. So it's going to be a rough ride no matter what we do. Put the shifter brackets and everything in. It fits great. I have to figure out how to adjust that linkage. I have never touched a Hurst 4-speed, so I'm gonna have to do a little research. I'm assuming you probably do everything from neutral. And I think the shifter's actually missing some shift stops that prevent it from going into gears. Obviously, that's not what I'm gonna leave for a shifter. I don't know, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a little wrench. I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna end up making my own shifter. I got some 1/4-inch plate. I'm probably gonna drill out and weld something to make my own shifter. But as you can see, man, it is tight in there as far as running a brake system. I did find this buggy kit for like dune buggies, those Volkswagen dune buggies people drive. Check it out right here. I messaged the guy on eBay and he said it's 10 inches a square, essentially. 10 inches square. So I don't know if I can maybe build this and then build a platform it down. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that, but 10 inches is roughly up here, and my feet are going to be up. I don't know. I got to figure it out. I'd like to have the brake pedals lower, as well as put the clutch pedal like down here on the side, the reservoir cap back here, the clutch pedal. I mean, if I have to sit with my clutch foot back a little bit, I'm good with that. If my driver, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't have a ton of room, and I don't think I'm going to be able to run a power booster like I wanted to for power brakes, because it's a 7-inch booster, and there's definitely not 7 inches available in here anywhere. So I got to see what people with these Speedway kits run, because traditionally, if it was a real Model A, it would come out to here. So I would have more room in this area for that. I think a lot of T-Bucket guys actually do brake boosters that mount to the firewall, which there's not a ton of room there. I don't think a 7-inch one, or they also make the ones that come up and they remote underneath the cowl. That might be an option I might do. Put those plates right there. They're not mounted in or anything, but the magnet stuck to them, so I think I can tack weld them, or I might just sheet metal screw them, self-tappers in there. But I think that looks awesome as a raised kick panel to where my floor is gonna go. Cut up 16 2-inch tabs of 1/8 inch angle iron. Essentially, I make my mounts. So I know where the body, I'm gonna line it up perfect, square it up how I want it. Essentially come down with this about like this. Since this is 1 1/4 and this is 1 inch, I'll have a 1/4 inch down, which means these aren't perfectly straight, but as long as I have it in this general area, it's gonna help center the body back on the frame next time I go to put this thing back on. So put that there like that, and meet this one underneath it, like this. Tack them in, actually weld them solid in place where I want them, drill a hole straight through, and I'll be able to run, obviously I'll be able to run a bolt down and bolt the body right to the frame. And like I said, I'm gonna make the floor removable, probably with some plywood in certain areas and certain places to get the body back off so it's not permanently bolted to the frame. Otherwise, I guess I could just weld it solid. So with that being said, I'm not going to bore you with welding and all that stuff. So we're going to end the video off there. There's not a ton going on in this one, more just as a progress. But I ordered a bunch of parts, and I'm waiting for them to come in. So hopefully I can get my steering, as well as the brake system and clutch and all that stuff kind of figured out where the pedals and everything are going to go. So like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.